Share microphone. Any questions for Coach Green?
Coach, I believe broadcast said it was the fewest points Illinois ever given up in a Big Ten game. I guess third. I guess what went into that against a team that has really had your number defensively over the past 2 years?
Like I said, I just think with the confidence that we're continuing to build defensively, I think, we've defended pretty well all year, but the last couple games, even going back to Indiana, just really locked in terms of personnel, game plan, and then just playing with the elite urgency and effort. And when you do those things, good things are going to happen. It's something that we talk about all the time. Like, we demand it. The standard's very high here in order, you defend and you rebound. And if you're not doing that, it's going to be hard for you to play. So I think that's the number one thing. It's always been, defend, rebound, run. That's our core values. So, and when you get a team that starts believing and seeing that, hey, this can be the key to success, then it gets really fun to watch them go out there and execute it. So, like they said, it's a mindset, it's effort, and it's hard. It's hard to defend at that level, and that intensity for 40 minutes. But I could not be more proud that we're doing it. We're just executing right now on the defensive end.
Shauna, you obviously had, when you were in college, your own all-time record. So, Kendall talked about thinking about that a lot. What's that like when you are kind of chasing that and trying to compartmentalize that in the course of a year?
I don't even remember that. I'm too old. I don't remember what it felt like or anything. I was concussed half the time I played, so I don't really remember. I don't know. I think that now it's so different too nowadays because of social media, and you're constantly being told all these things, and where we didn't have that. So she's handled it great, all of it. She just goes out there and plays, and we always say, if you do, that the process is going to equal outcomes, and she's just such a process-driven kid. She works her butt off every day. You get rebounds every day. You're going to end up breaking records along the way. So, but I didn't know that either about the Big Ten. And when I was rewatching the Northwestern game, they had that graphic up there, and I was like, that's crazy. It's Lavender, it's Megan Gustafson from Iowa, I think, are the two in front of her. Those kids are 6'5", 6'4", and for KB to be right there, and she had Jenna Smith was under her too. So, that's pretty good company in terms of it. So I hope she gets that. I don't know what she needs to get the Big Ten one, but just super proud that she got this one.
120 for the Big Ten one.
You guys do the math, see if she can do that, get that this year.
You referenced just the process-oriented person that she is, and she talked about it, just sort of that process of, making rebounding something that she would own. Just what's that process look like for her to get to this moment and maybe led to her being able to be that successful?
First off, just some people just have a knack for rebounding, and then if you put in awareness and being very intentional of doing it, it's why she's elite at it. But she also just has a knack of I told her last year, I was on her all the time about boxing out, because I went, KB, you get 13 rebounds a game. If you box out, you can get 15, 16 a game. So, just her never being satisfied, and her work ethic and her determination, and just setting a goal and just fighting like hell to reach that. That's just who she is as a person and everything that she does. You can talk about how she's progressed as a scorer. She's not just a rebounder. She's not just an inside player. Now she is a player that can do a variety of things, that can score at all three levels, and is one of the best rebounders in the country, and one of the best rebounds, obviously, in the Big Ten ever by those numbers. But that's crazy to think about. Again, at 6'1" on a good day. That's absolutely amazing to me.
Not for nothing, but 2 games, you mentioned this, where you got to go to your bench and one, get them probably pretty valuable minutes, and 2, rest. What can that realistically do for a team that's running 6 or 7 players?
I think it's huge. It's really, really important, and that doesn't happen a lot in the Big Ten. And now to have 2 back-to-back where literally, I don't know, KB was out, the whole fourth. I think a lot of our starters were out the whole fourth, but also being able to get Haven some really good minutes, because she was sick at Northwestern, which was unfortunate, because she would have got a lot of minutes there. And I thought she did. I was really impressed, but that's, again, she goes up every day against Nick, our GA, and Nick's super athletic and quick, and he'll score on her, and sometimes she can get frustrated, but now it paid off because these girls weren't as quick as what he is. So being able to get her minutes, even Irene some more minutes, Mia, and then Corey playing now 20 minutes and 20 some the other night. It's just Barry's been getting a ton of minutes, but she got 16 points and ran a lot of stuff to her late. All that experience is huge, and rest is probably the most important thing right now going into this stretch we have.
Just another game, Jim quietly has 13. Like, how is that developing game over game with her as a point guard? And look at her turnovers, I'm sure it's not high.
Yeah, she had 1. I mean, and super efficient tonight. 5 for 6, 3 for 3 from 3, 13 points, 3 assists, 1 turnover. I think she's just really starting to find a rhythm and really starting to just play like the game's slowing down for her, and she just is playing so controlled and scoring when she can and when she needs to, but then also really facilitating and running the team. And the last couple of weeks, she's just, I think, continued to up her game, and tonight was another just great performance for her. And sometimes gets a little overlooked because some of the other stuff, but she's doing so much for us right now, and she's defending. So again, being able to get her at only 24 minutes is key as we go into this final stretch too.
Shauna, when you did your homework on this team before you took this job and you looked at KB, I think a lot of coaches would have said, 6-foot post, that's not going to work, not in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like you and Ryan really kind of poured into her that this was going to work and this was going to happen for her. Like, how did you get to that point?
Because we recruited her hard at Dayton, and I got told no by her 2 times. So I knew exactly what she could do. I recruited her first time, she told us no. Then I recruited her when she left Michigan State, she told us no. So then I just decided to follow her and track her down, and she had no choice. So I was going to coach her one way or another. But so I knew exactly what she could do. I've watched that kid play in high school more times than a lot of kids, and Ryan was the lead recruiter on her. So we knew exactly what she was capable of. And we knew, and I'll never forget, because the first time, I think I've told you guys this before, as soon as we got here, in one of our first few meetings, I went, KB, you need to be a double-double kid. Like, I know you're rebounding. I think she averaged like 6 points. There's no way you should be only averaging 6 points. So, and then she did the work, and she, Ryan and then now Kat have done an unbelievable job with her. They deserve a lot of that credit because they're the ones in there with the film session. They're the ones in there working on her game. In the gym, just those two, and she's been, I said it, the last 2 years, I even more so than that first year, I just think she's been so open and willing to learn, and so coachable, and just like a sponge wanting to continue to get better, and now she's literally doing everything out there for us.
Shauna, I know you kind of talked about going into the previous game, just the 3-pointers and maybe feeling like you've been shooting the ball better tonight to have 8 and 19. Just what did you maybe see that led to that success that you had tonight?
Joe, they're coming very organically. They're not like out of set. Some are out of sets against the zone, but otherwise they came tonight, and what they've been, the ones we're making, they're coming from just really sharing the ball. I think we've been sharing the ball and playing super connected really for the last couple of weeks. And the last 2 games, we've had a ton of assists. There was a couple possessions tonight that were just really beautiful basketball, where we're passing up a really good shot for a great shot. And I think that's where you see how connected this team is. And when you're connected, it helps offensively. But I think that's where you're seeing some of our success also defensively. They're very together. There's just a sense of, I don't even know how to describe it. You can almost feel the connectiveness in them just by being around them.
It's just the obligatory Dow. Like, she's hitting those threes more than just a one-off at this point with her. Like, why is that? What have you seen? She talked about the confidence,
Yeah.
but what have you seen from her that's allowing that to translate to games?
I think reps. She said the shooting gun. I told you guys that during break we really put an emphasis. They all had their time in the gym where they had to get in and get a certain amount of shots up, and And reps lead to confidence, confidence leads to success, and now she has a great deal of confidence in it, and I have confidence in her. Last year, there was times when she shot it, I'd be like, no, now I'm like, yes, I feel like it's going in all the time, and when you play with confidence, that basket gets a lot bigger, so I want her to continue to shoot those, and then, teams are gonna, at some point, have to start making an adjustment on it. Okay, thank you, guys.
One correction.